Well, how's everyone going? Been a long time now since I did a stream with you boys, you know what I mean? And lad, it's good to see you all. It was a very impromptu stream now, so it was. I was supposed to do this a good few hours ago, but you know yourself, it's very dark and cold out here in Sweden. So what I've been doing is I just fall asleep all the time. Sometimes I feel like I got a bit of narcolepsy or ME, but then I realize it's cold and dark here all the whole fucking time, and you're just sitting in an apartment all day pretty boring. Like kids are off school sick as well. Like so, the crack wasn't too good. You know what I mean? Hello, we got Isaac Whelan. Isaac, mate, it's very good to have you here on the stream tonight. I can feel a moody man's presence here off you. You know what I mean? It's very deep, very earthy, son. Yeah. Who have we got in the chat? We got one person in the chat. Has anyone got a monkey or a pony or a salmon? You know, apples and pears, cobblers, Danny Arches. I don't know why, but I thought I'd use an image of Phil Mitchell. Phil Mitchell, it looks like a boiled leg of ham. Going, oi, hey, oi. For those of you who haven't watched EastEnders, cases of you over in the States, yeah? You'd be like, what is EastEnders? What is BBC? Is it an acronym for something? I don't know. BBC, the British Broadcasting? I'm like, yeah, EastEnders, mate. You know, Danny Dyer. Danny Dyer, you know what I mean? He's a moody man's man. He plays a character. He's like the king of the fucking Queen Vic. Who we got in the house? We got No Autographs, The Mutante, Story. I was in an Harold Pinter play. Listen, I know the lights look a bit shit on this stream today, right? East Benders, Sean, it's great to see you, mate. Beautiful to see your mug there in the corner of the chat. I don't know why I'm stuck in East End, you know, Danny Dyer mode, but you know, we got a couple of moody geezers. A message was held for review. It ain't gay if you're both straight, says No Autographs. And that's something that me and him always stuck together on, you know what I mean? How you doing, boys? How's it going, hey? Look, fucking Tim Pool. Yeah, Tim Pool. I've robbed your beanie, man. Tim Pool, you know, Tim Pool is one of those guys who, you know, he sits on the fence, plays very safe, makes a lot of money. You know, when people say Tim Pool was I can't even begin to regurgitate the shite that he comes up with. Doing very fucking well for himself, though, Tim Pool, man. There's a beautiful video of someone robbing his beanie hat on him, and he's totally bald underneath. He's like, why would you do that? The fuck is wrong with you? Why'd you do that? He's like, yo, bro, it's just a joke, man. So, yeah, how are you all doing anyway? Compliments of the season to you. The light I usually have, I was using it as a phone holder for doing a gig, and I left it in town because I couldn't be arsed carrying the guitar and the fucking bag of cable back with me last night. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've been doing any of these local chattings with you all. Any crack? Carnivalix, man, Mutante, a couple of local boys in the house, man. Let it fill up. We let it fill up. We let it blossom. Let it flow. Do you know what I mean? It's good to be back. Uh, that one guy, how you doing? How you doing? 91 Vanced. No autographs. Another man, the Mutante. Mayocon, 82. Wesley Snipes was asking for you. Up the town there, so he was. Come here, how was he getting on? He was inside Thug Mansion there. Fucking New Line Cinema. There was some sort of tax dispute with the old IRS boys. Graham Russell, snapping at the heels of a Rothwheeler. Graham, you're very welcome to the show, mate. Very good to have you on board. I was thinking, maybe I might do like a Christmas special on this, yeah. Maloney's Digest, a list of guests and spicy people, fans and guests from the podcast as well. Maybe if there's a date, perhaps Christmas Eve at night, could do that, mate. That works for me. PHS 44. Any hamper for the lads? No hampers. It's a very fucking poor year for me. This is, mate. Very poor year indeed, because you know there ain't no going back to Ireland, right? And it's just fucking hasn't. It's not been a great financial year. Do you know what I mean? It's been a fucking mags game, mate, out there in Stockholm. It feels like I'm in some sort of purgatory. Being a very talented man, a performer, a Renaissance man, dare say, some kind of cerebral genius in a world of people who just don't get what's going on in my fucking nut, mate. Graham Russell says Fergal Bowers isn't going to play Ludo and Tiddlywinks. Saw how Fergal Bowers the other day, or he was out on Twitter came up with a very vanilla statement saying the amount of corona cases this year, right now, 440 odd, yeah, as low as it's been since October. Here's a fucking thing that maybe not many people haven't fucking thought about. But don't you think it's a bit fucking mad that when the booster comes out, then everyone's coming down with the fucking medicine? Or like that song by Disturbed, Down with the Sickness. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the Disturbed, mate. Do you know what I mean? They were around your cold chamber, beginning of the fucking noughties, you know, was. Apparently they did some sort of cover of like Bridge Over Troubled Water or something like that. Fuck no, lad. Isaac Whelan, Cozy Hamper Job. That's fucking me, hey. What else we got in the corner? Rumour has it that Shady Gamley is related to Wesley Snipes. 15 times removed, apparently. 12 podcasts of Christmas. Yeah, I've well, I'm supposed to be doing the Hardy book part 6. And it was supposed to be done like 2 weeks ago, but the kids were sick all week. So I've been like a regular fucking Florence Nightingale, taking care of everyone. The governor, says Sean. Yeah, so I have been very busy. I haven't been ill or sick. I took one of those antigen tests. I was a bit run down there last week. Didn't really get any. So the ex-wife came and put the rod up the schnoz to see if there was anything going down. Nah, mate. Nah. Ronan Cullen, Maloney skin. Times are tough when you have to wank the dog to feed the cat. I'll be robbing that one, mate. I'll be robbing that one. Someone said to me earlier on, it was my sister Tricia was talking about someone. And I said his favorite film is probably Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Arse. But we laughed. It was juvenile but very funny. The Omnicron will lay us down. Blessed Omnicron, we beseech you to liberate us into the herd immunity sphere, where all this bullshit just goes away. Sick of it now, man. Fucking sick of it. More like 15 shades removed, says that one guy. Oliver Fallon, Sweden is the sick note capital of the world. How do you mean, Ollie? Are you any relation to fucking Jimmy Fallon, man? Jimmy Fallon. So I had a couple of things to talk about. Well, you know, it will come out of here. I've got like 3 weeks worth of shite lodged up in my brain box, but I never was one for prep. Do you know what I mean? I was always one seat of your pants. It's like how I live my life, man. I live my life for the stars that shine. People say it's just a waste of time. Yeah, listen, give that a thumbs up, man. There's 11 of you. There's a whole package of you there. Give it a quick thumbs up. Oh yeah. First, I will go on by saying, if you want to do me a solid, because these lads are pissing me about now. It occurred to me when I was on checking the old. Thanks for the thumbs up there, fellas. I was on the old AIB banking the other day, and I seen this little fucking thing came up from Zentorno.com, and it was like 10:20 on Friday, and I was like, I wasn't out of the house at that time on Friday. What's going on here? And then I went on to Trustpilot and was like, what is Zentorno? It turns out it's the place where I got Days Gone, the game by Bend Studios, developed by Sony. Great game, flagship game. I enjoyed that. You've seen me playing this multiple times. I was initially very pleased with the purchase, but upon reading the Trustpilot reviews of this company, the wankers make you enter into a very ambiguous subscription trap. So I've been paying about €27 a month for 11 months on top of the purchase. And they said that they would refund the last month. And I'm like, mate, that's not good enough. So maybe Zentorno.com might just have a whole load of people giving out. I'm not saying to do that on Trustpilot, but I was thinking maybe to verify your grievances on behalf of me, it might just make them think about, that's just, if you got a good product, sell the product, but don't fucking get people right before Christmas to know that you've had a cumulative amount of nearly €300 plus the initial fee. Not happy with that at all, mate. That was one thing. Losing crowds in stadiums will be brutal, hey. Why are they going back to that shite again, are they? Let me see what else we got in the comments here. Are they talking about taking away the crowds in the Premier? Oh, not again, man. Just fucking get out. Like, it's just it has fucking ruined me, man. It's ruined me. I haven't been home. I'm not going home again for Christmas this year. I haven't seen me family in fucking ages, as long as I was ever away from home. Yes, Owen Gardner, Zentorno. Do you remember that was the fastest car in GTA Online? Yeah, the annoying thing was when I went and looked at Zentorno, I'd discovered that it was in fact the car, the Lamborghini job. Jambo 2090. Pubs closing at 5 according to Hare Houlihan. God, lads, what's going on with Ireland? It's just it's mental. The crack is mental. You know what I mean? This is partly a reason why I didn't want to come on and do streams, man, because I've just been looking at all this nonsense. Uh, Swine flu. It's just a joke flu. Can be applied to this. Um, yeah, man. I don't want to be talking about the same shit all the time. I want it to be upbeat and good fun, but it's kind of hard, difficult to ignore. The Mutante. Hope you're staying away from those cryptos and NFTs, Marty. Pump and dump pyramid streams, a lot of them. Well, in fairness to you, Mutante, Monamichi, that's a conclusion I have indeed come to, um, because out of the money that I put in and has been held up in crypto, I don't think I've ever made any of my money back off a grand that I stuck in. I should have taken it out, but then I was like, oh, but what if I move over to Coinbase Pro and then the interface is deliberately way more difficult and ambiguous to use? So yeah, there's schemes, man. Look. Here's how. I mean, I've been kind of casually observing this. Unless you get in early on something, you've missed the boat. So I guess the same could be said for anything. Not really like schemes. Sam Atom, that man knows a lot about fucking molecular structures going real deep to the atomic level. Not Fed posting, but this will not end well if they keep pushing us. I like this new thing is like Fed posting is becoming like it's becoming part of the zeitgeist. Um, yeah, but I mean, is this what the grand scheme was from day one? I often wonder because the way, like, I remember in 2019, economists, like proper economists, independent economists, were talking about an incoming massive recession, bigger, like, I mean, on the level of the Great Depression in the early 1900s. And I was like, well, if the banks do that via property or derivatives like they did the last time, sorry about that. Yeah, so in other words, people wouldn't be very happy. And fucking Maucon 82 is going for a chalk ice. You know what I was thinking? Like, there's Omicron. I was thinking I really like a nice, sweet, creamy cake, and I've got nothing like that in the house at the moment, which makes my palate weep for better times. Um, so, Panther, I like that Pantera guy, mate. How are you doing? You're all right. It's good to fucking have you in, lad. Um, Came in at the perfect moment. Or yeah. Um, what was Maloney EXE not working? It's good stuff, man. It's good to see you all. It's great to be back. I don't know why I've left it so long. I was getting a bit of stage fright as well. I was like, oh, what am I going to talk about, man? I was overthinking it, and yeah, lost a few folks there. Obviously, I mean, sometimes you've got the ones who you hang in for the full session. Fair play to you. I'm a bit like that when I'll just like have a stream on if I'm knocking about around the towns and that, or doing a bit of I always listen to a stream. I suppose you could say I've got great attention like that. Some people come in and look, that's fine. That's fine, mate. Because some people are dead busy at the moment. Some people are off to go into the bed, but they might check out the stream later on. You can do that as well. Do you know what I mean? But that's fine, mate. Owen Gardner, I knew I should have played Fallout. Well, mate, you know what? I wouldn't mind playing Fallout either because I haven't played it for a very long time, and I rather did enjoy it. And the thing is about me, right, in these RPG games, is that I do go around the map doing all the little missions first, like, and which is great. But then you don't play it for a while, and then you're like, "What the fuck am I doing playing this game?" Like, it's like The Witcher 3. You know what I mean? I was playing that and forgot what it was all about. And I wouldn't mind to put like 2 or 3 months into that. Like, no autographs. Am I watching the darts? Do you know what, mate? I'll change into a more like Yorkshire or fucking Lancashire accent for this. I don't know why. I thought I might as well just mix it up a bit, right? So, thing is about me and darts, I don't really get what the big appeal is, to be quite honest with you. Like when you play, you've got to be all dead good at maths and adding numbers up and all that. And for me, you know, my head is like, fuck that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure if I knew what each number was, I'd be all right. But anytime I was playing darts, I would just go for the bullseye. I had no idea you're supposed to go round like a clock and that. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, mate, sorry about that. No, I ain't. Um, if you have any impressions you'd like me to do, you know what? Let's make this like a new segment. Try and do impressions of certain people and see how it goes. You know what I mean? It could, if you're just knocking about, you know, you're on a bus or you're just having a fucking bit of a chill out session on the bed, you know, and you're like, oh, I might drift off to Maloney's dulcet tones. But can you do a Glaswegian accent? You know what, Sean, man? I tell you something, pal, right? I don't know if a great accent or not, you know, like, it all depends on what kind of voice you're going for. But I'd like to say that's not a bad accent, but then I talk to someone from Glasgow and they go, that's fucking push, man. That's push. Um, so I don't know. Darts is brutal. I can't aim or count me throws. Yeah, you know, it's a tricky one. I think it's one of those games that you, the more pissed you are, the more fluent you become in it. Let's see some of your comments here. The Mutante says anything to kill 4 hours before cricket. Mon the Aussies. Is the Ashes still on? Is it? Pantera guy. Fucking Doinbag, man. Rest in peace. Doinbag. Um, I tested positive for fed up with all these restrictions and boosters. You fucking hell, man. I tested quintuple positive for that one. It's a cozy owl pub style stream. Thanks very much, Sean. It is a cozy little stream. I like it. How's that kind bird treating you over there in Chicago? I know a few boys living over in Chicago. Hey, how was Beetlejuice getting on? Tell Beetlejuice was asking for a hey. Tell Beetlejuice I'll bend her over and take her to fucking Michael Keaton City for 9 months of hard doogans. Whatever that means. I don't know. Um, right. Dead right, Martin on dots. Says who says this now? Onion Gardner, man Onion. Is that you drinking a beer there in your little avatar? That's a nice touch, man. Um, Darts for me, says Pantera Guy, is about the session and the crack, or as my dad Vinny would say, the crack and the laughter. Dude, Jerry Adams. Yeah, right. Okay, Owen Gardner. I don't. I have to have something to say in the voice of Jerry Adams. Sean, keeping the dream alive. Beetlejuice says take her handy. Sean, thanks very much for the super chat there, man. Big man. Fair play to you, big man. Actually, speaking of which, I had made I've basically recorded part 6 of the Hardy book, yeah. And it's about fucking Buzz McDonald's great going way back ancestor, yeah, and his name was Zachary McDonald, and he basically opened the first Irish bar over there in America called Cromwell's arse. But there's a bit here where I go into talking about. I'll read you a little extract from it because it does have that kind of Jerry Adams voice going on in it. Let me see. I think it needs a bit of whittling down because sometimes I go off on a bit of a fucking stream of consciousness and start throwing in unnecessary details. And it feels like if I don't put all of these details in it, then it's not honest. But then it's just like, it's easy to lose people's sense of Babylon Zoo. Let me see. Oh, here we go. It goes, Hugh O'Neill was a cute bastard, to be fair to him. He sent the mayor off out to ratify a peace declaration to spare the inhabitants of Clonmel from bloodshed. As he did this, Dove O'Neill and the boys fled south over the bridge and headed straight to Waterford to fight another day. Bailing Clonmel on a mega high from victory, they stopped upon Zachary MacDonald and his band of sauce wagons. Hugh called to Zach, "Tar, There's a couple of those there wee barrels, will ye?" "No bother, horsebox. Dushed my claw with wedge, kind sir. I'll strap them to the bindings of your mythical beast of burden." And with that, O'Neill gave Zach the sweetest touch of coin, thanked him tenderly before bounding off for the bright lights of Waterford town. "Cheers for that there, big man. Take it handy. Tell those roundhead wankers pure naughtin', hey." "Fair balls to you, Hugh. You're a sound bastard. Good looking, good bless, lovely laddeen." And off they blistered, hooves tearing up the mud as they thundered away off over the horizon. Later on, upon the meeting of Ramsbottom, the crack with Zach went downhill fast. The general arbitrarily demanded MacDonald hand over a lump sum of unpaid tax, claiming he owned it to Cromwell for all the sweet claw wedge he had earned cash in hand, selling lovely lush to a diverse range of folks that lived all around the towns and that. Such a turn of events were mondo misery to the max, a regular expression used by orange-cowled hero in a half-shell, Michelangelo, the party dude from Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles, my favorite one of all of the lean green fighting machine. So that's a little extract there from that one guy. Don't understand most of the references, but it's still good crack. Don't worry there, that one guy. The Hardy book part 6 should be out soon enough. And I have like fucking years worth of stuff that needs to go in basically, and I have that. That's all money for old rope. I've written that. That's done. So thanks for that, Darbag man. And listen, there's 18 in there. Give it a thumbs up there. Hey, algorithms. I know the production value of this here with streams, but fucking shite like, but you know, I'm just a boomer, and you know, that's the way it is. Is Stateside in it? Oh, here, hey, Stateside had to be he had to be exiled to the land of intrusion, just for being I don't know what he's at, man. You'd want a brass ring pie these days. Oh, a brass ring piece. Fucking, it would, but that comes around anyway. Is Buzz related to Jim and Liz McDonald in Manchester? They ran a pub on Coronation Street. Well, funny enough, I was actually discussing Julian of UTV. Oh, well, tonight's episode. Oh, Liz McDonald, what she been at? Ooh, the Rovers. And Jim's not wee one bit happy about that. Ooh, that there's going to be an exciting episode there, so it is. And NIA on BBC Northern Ireland. Do you know what? Rubber baseball bat, says the Mutante. Do you know what was really fucking depressing growing up, right? Was living in Mayo. And when you get the English channels, man, that was a big deal because this was like I think TV3 and TG Cahir just came out. And so if you had the English channels, you had Channel 4, BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. Now, that was back in the day when you'd actually get good comedy on Channel 4 and BBC Two before Big Brother came along and fucking ruined it. A man, Shawnee, Santa Clausine Schwab is after you. You'll get nothing for Christmas and you'll be happy. But Doctor We Television, says Owen Gardner. Why are you fucking giving me shite there, Malish lad? Why you come up here to me? Come up here to me now, wee fella. Look at this boy. He's a fucking dream, man. Talk to me. Talk to the boys there, man. What kind of insights? How are you doing, lad? Such strong muscles, man. You're a pure free range beast these days, man. I'd have him full time. The ex-wife, she can't handle him. He's too hard. He's too masculine. He's too much like myself. Am I right, Quato? Grr. That's right. Hey, I thought you were from Russia, not fucking Lisburn. Good lad. Look at this. He can just nest there into the claw. Great fucking confident. The shite I talk to this lad, man. Fair play to him, Alish. Will I get you something for Christmas, will I? What would you like for Christmas, eh? Would you like an old meat pie there? Would you like me to make you a cake with fucking Julian from UTV, Les McDonald, and fucking Steve McDonald? If you go onto Steve McDonald's Instagram, he's extremely camp in real life. He's like, so I was putting together a Ford Scorpio that I bought the other day, and I tell you, now I finally got verified. Like, what happened to him, man? He was hard back in the early 90s. Massive J finally caught one live, man. Haha. Yeah, right, lad. Fucking sound. Hey, welcome to the party, man. Welcome to the party. Compliments of the season to the lot of you. Shady Ganley, formerly Jaquarius. I'll tell you, the hard shots are in tonight, boy. Where have you been? We've missed you, brother. You know, I appreciate that, mate. Shady Ganley, formerly Jaquarius. Fucking, you know, appreciate that. I've just been pretty fucking busy, man. Do you know what I mean? Shawneen Thornton, mate. How very kind of you for the super chat. That's a big 20, that is, mate. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. Are we getting on over there in Ireland, man? Are we getting on? Keep that money away from fucking Neffet. Keep it away from them. Go away. Thank you for that, Sean. It's very kind of you. Manish, mate, what is it? I bet you've got a ball stuck under a fucking couch or something. I can't do it, mate. I'm doing a live stream. I know you don't understand the concept of a live stream. It's like mankind trying to understand the universe and things that happen. They can try and understand it. It's like you trying to, use, Microsoft Word, Excel, or Photoshop. Do you know what I mean? But listen, I am keen to sort you out with the ball. But just, if you can come up here and have a lie down, mate, yeah? Just have a little chill session up there for yourself, yeah? Cheers. Tom Martin, how are you doing? Any tips on fake friends, bro? Oh, there's no fucking shortage of them, man. You need to have some sort of special shit test, like in the Bronx Tale, where Chaz Palamitri, who played Sonny, who's now got a podcast out. He seems to be doing well for himself. You know, Chaz Palamitri is one of these guys. He talks, when I was growing up, and I was in stage school in Los Angeles, and I did a one-man show called The Bronx Tale, and it was going real big. And then one day, Bobby De Niro came over, and he was like, you know what? And that's more Tony Soprano. My father was a great man, and my mother, she fucking wanted down to me. Oh, fucking another man. What bio my, it's some fucking horse. Yeah, it was a fucking animal. Get over it. Sorry, I was going on. Frank Vincent. Phil Leotardo. Hey, when the name Leotardo, you know where that comes from? It comes from Leonardo da Vinci, the painter, the inventor. And it was a great name that we had. Some fucking asshole on Ellis Island turned it into Leotardo, named after a piece of fucking women's underwear. It's a leotard. Sorry, Sopranos, man. Must give that another watch. Up there on the fucking mountains, man, says no autographs. You fucking got that one right, hey. The quiet man coming in loud, says the Mutante. Let me see. Mutante doing the Lord's work. Hey, big fucking party there in the chat, man. Big party. Manish, please, mate. I don't know if the viewers can hear the high pitched uh, weeping that he comes out with, but it's just at that kind of subtle enough frequency of dog like whining that it's almost like when they put those high frequency tones outside of shopping center doors to keep teenagers from loitering around the place. It's a little bit like that. Let me see. Let me see. I wanted manicotti. I ate grilled cheese off the radiator. It's fucking brilliant, man. Any more old Sopranos quotes? Throw them in there. Hey, Vito was just there as a joke. Uh, you got some balls on you, kid. Hey, why you look like a Puerto Rican whore? Joseph Remmert. How you doing, Joseph? Hey, nice New Jersey accent. Jersey. I remember years ago when, like before I went to America, my image of America was from films. You know what I mean? I thought it was some magical place that looked like how it did on TV and movies. And then I built it up in my mind since I was a kid. I was like, America, gotta go there. I thought it was gonna be some magical place of wonder. And there was this old friend of mine called Pat from New Jersey, man. He's an Irish American kid. We met him around Dublin. He's like, yo, Martin, man, when you come over to Jersey, man, you can hang out with my boys, smoke some kind bud, shit, be mad, chill over there. And I was like, yeah, sound. So when I lived in Brooklyn with Crazy Justin, he comes over to Brooklyn from Jersey City one night, and he's like, "Yo, Martin, come over to my boys. Are having a mad chill session in South Orange." And I was like, "Yeah, sounds fucking great, man." And so when I went there, it was Malice, please, I'm trying to fucking tell a story over here. We gotta break my balls for, man. The fuck is wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? You sit there like fucking butter wouldn't melt in your mouth. Give me that collie stare all the time. What the fuck is that about, man? Got problems? Problems in your life? Sorry, so 1 second. I bet there's a ball. 1 second. Hold on. Is it your ball, is it? Oh, fucking patience. I'll forgive you. What is it? What am I looking for here? What is it? What are you looking for, hey? Suck. Yeah. Come on, come on. Go on, I said. Hurry the fuck up. Ouch, come on. Let's go. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Did you get the ball, did you? No. Oh, God. Well, that was a waste of time. Garden State. The dog's just there looking at me. Right, yeah. So anyway, so Pat McHugh says, "You Martin, come down to South Orange. This is going to be mad chill." So I did go down to South Orange, and it wasn't as mad chill as I expected. There was a load of lads who were smoking this blunt around about this long while watching Cops on this massive plasma TV. So I walked in and went, "Geez, it's ironic that you're watching Cops while smoking a blunt." And then one dude just goes, "It is, huh?" And then naturally, I was like, "Wow, a blunt." This is like 2006, so I was younger. My tolerance for the scoob was a bit more higher than, and so I ended up getting really baked and throwing a bit of a panic attack. And then I was watching them playing some sort of Xbox game where they were just battering some lad to the point his face looked all comical, and I was like, "Oh, get out of here, man!" And yeah, that was a shit story. Sorry about that. I think there was a reason for me telling this. How you Liam Healy, hey, it has been a while. 2006, simpler times. You know, they really were, man. South Orange is shite. There was an Irish bar I went into, right, in South Orange, and there was a lad from Ballahadreen working there behind the bar. And he was like, he goes, "Yo, Martin, this is, let's say his name was Mick or something." He goes, "Yo, Mick's from Ireland." And I was like, "Oh, how's it going? Where you from in Ireland, man?" He goes, "Oh, where am I from? Ballahadreen." I was like, "Yeah, Ballahadreen, yeah. How long you been over here?" "Oh, I've been over here a good 25 years now." So I kept looking behind my shoulder to see what was going on, but he just had this weird tick where he'd be talking, just kept like looking into the corner, like there was an old ghost floating around in the corner of the room. Job. Lads are the same, no matter where you go, says Roland Cullen. Yeah, that was the thing. Like they just seemed like lads from Swinford or Tubbercurry or something. You know, they were just regular dudes. But I the way I'd had like this image in my mind's eye of when he was describing what Jersey was like in when I was in Ireland before going to America. It was just looked like anywhere else, man. You know, it's like America. It just looks like Ireland, but with bigger buildings. You know, same if you go anywhere. You know, like it's like when people feel disappointed when they go on holidays because it's not like fast shots of like jet skis and aerial shots of mountains and women jumping off like speed boats in blue lagoons and this kind of thing. It's just like you go to a holiday and there's only one place you can be experiencing at once, like the time I went to fucking Roskilde and there was about 5 different stages, and you're like, well, I can't be at all stages at once. So then you get the feeling of missing out, so it gets too big. Neo, how you doing? Hey, I heard you made a new movie. How was the boys? Wow, I actually caught a live stream. Yeah, fair play, man. They're fucking few and far between these days. Like, but we will get more of them. I'm thinking maybe I should put together a Christmas special where guests and longtime listeners are very welcome to jump in and have the crack. Oh no, Bronco, says KMR. How you doing, lad? Any crack? Yeah. Yeah, Pine Barrens, Man of Sopranos, excellent. Where it's like, I lost my fucking shoe. Yeah, it's funny when you see there's there's something very comedic about people who are top dogs in their own habitat, but become completely they're rendered completely ill prepared and out of their element in a place like the Pine Barrens. Like walking around with like $350 fucking Italian designer Sergio Giorgini loafers in the middle of fucking 2 feet deep of snow, sliding around the place. It's like I think it was last year or earlier on this year. I was taking the dog for a walk into town and was wearing this pair of like Doc Martens Chelsea boots, but the soles had been worn down and it was fucking terrifying. I don't know why I went like off piste, but I was like sliding down rocks and everything. And scenes, mate, the fucking scenes. Con Bob, cheers for the stream. You're very welcome, brother man. You're very, very welcome. Feach was made on the other side. Oh man, Feach, yeah. Hey Feach, we need a place to put these TVs. Well, it's gonna cost you. And Feach was also the car dealer from Scarface. What's this? Sean Thornton said earlier on, he jumped out of the tree and came at me with a chainsaw. Oh yeah. Who did that again? Was it Feach who battered him? He jumped out of the tree and came out with a chainsaw. I got a right to defend myself. Richie April's my one of my all-time favorites. I love it in series 2 where he's like got the gun to Janice's head and he's like doing it from behind and she's going, oh Richie, oh you're the boss, oh it should be you, boss this, boss that. The fuck does that mean? Trying to make love to you here. Okay. Oh, I was just trying to be romantic. No, you don't say that when you're being romantic. Steve Buscemi, yeah, I think he did. He did direct the Pine Barrens, and yeah, Tony Blondetto, the late Leigh Maloney Christmas special, chunked off his bean, a la Tuberty. Yeah. When has the is this Christmas special been on yet? I seen a brilliant video there of someone had put up on Reddit a few months ago where it was fucking Bob Geldof's 70th, and he's like, Welcome out, welcome out, Bob. Good to see you." And this is actually your 70th birthday, and it's just got your man Malcolm McDowell in Clockwork Orange when he's just sitting in a straight jacket in front of the screen with his eyes held open like this, and it goes like there's a bit where he goes, "Welcome, Bob. Happy birthday, happy 70." He's like, "Why, you guys?" And then he just starts going, "Ah," and then there's just like a kind of quasi a cappella rendition of "In My Life" by the Beatles by U2, and it's like, "There are places I remember all my life, the some have changed." And like Bono just put this face on, and at the end of it, he's going, "Stop, stop," Malcolm McDowell. But man, that's the kind of stuff that your tax money is going towards, not a fucking other series of that. Who knows what the deal with the Hardy Bucks is, man? I think it's done and dusted, man. Do you know what I mean? I don't like. I can't see it happening anytime soon, which is. I think it's time to move on. I have been working on a new idea for a screenplay, um, so I need to get that fucking start working on that. I've just been very fucking first of all very distracted lately, and yeah, it's just lot of stuff going on. Kids being sick, and also the fact that I've got crucifyingly bad ADHD, man, and also Twitter is one of the biggest fucking thieves of my time as well. Mayocon 82 says Tubridy fisted an ostrich on the toy show. No fooling. Straight up real schooling. Yeah. It's any good comedy out lately, is there? Like any just fucking great comedy in the last few years that people are like, yeah, this is some good stuff. One thing I've noticed, right, was just I was watching a bit of I was watching a Vice documentary about Andrew Callahan, the all gas no brakes guy, and he did a really funny interview with Chet Hanks, Tom Hanks's son, and I have to say, man, after watching it, I thought I find it hard not to like Chet Hanks because you know you could see that growing up. Yeah, Tom Hanks in his shadow. Uh, that the pressure was monumental and he was expected to behave in a certain way. I don't know how many kids Tom Hanks has, but he seems to be one of the like kind of the second or like one of the middle kids who never really got any attention. And it seemed that he was just a bit of a fucking lunatic. And one night, some heavy dudes took him away to school, to like military school or something, a bit like Vito's son. And yeah, he went to Jamaica and started going, "What you talking about, you bumba clart?" and this kind of stuff. And then just went viral now, then started to become some sort of hard dude biker man from Mars. But yeah, but then I was looking at this other one where they're in Salt Lake City. And it's just interesting to see what young people are at these days, people who are like teenagers to like early 30s, that whole spectrum of youth. And everyone's just into, it's funny because like when I was 18, it was all doodaloo doo, doodaloo doo, doodaloo doo. It was all fucking Sum 41 and Weezer or like Basement Jacks or that kind of stuff. And now it's just like mostly kind of rap, but hard rap where people rage. What the fuck was the story of the Astro World, man? That was a really fucked up event. Some weird shit was going on there. Like you had your man, what's his fucking name? The guy was with the Kardashian bird. Someone in the chat help me out here. Help me out what his name was. When Chat Hanks talks like a Jamaican, it's so cringe. Yeah, he was saying like, yeah, everyone was all these fucking assholes would give me a hard time. You know who wasn't giving me a hard time? People from Jamaica. Oh, Travis Scott, that's right, yeah. But there's like there was a really fucked up moment from that uh Astro World where they're like carrying a what looks like a lifeless person out over the crowd, and he's just up on some weird platform looking at him like this, going, "Dead, dead." But that's all fucking water under the bridge now at this stage. I believe Shady Gandhi says, I believe Tom Hanks has two sons. The younger son is an actor who's been in movies like Orange County. Wasn't he in The Road to Perdition as well? I think that was like 2003 that came out. And some other good comedies. Chet Hanks is the original Island Boys. Island Boys. Who the fuck are those lads, man? Where did they come from? I mean, like nowadays, like there's a real blend of, did these people start through social media and then make it big? Or are they basically people who were signed to major record labels who also utilize their social media? I mean, like the landscape of celebrity and artists have become really fucking blurred with like all these alternative platforms that people now have access to. Whereas like in the old days, it'd be like, you'd have like your three major record labels. Let's say it was, Sony, BMG, and Epic, for example. You'd have like three types of the same act. So let's say if you look at like the big four of thrash metal, they'd all be on, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. You'd have them on four different labels, but they pretty much do the same thing. I'm just spitballing here, man. I'm just spitballing. Do you know what I mean? It's ball of shade, man. Ball of shade. Chaplin's Bar. Don't look back in anger. Acoustic version. Oh. Alright, lad. Get the old fucking Les Paul out there for a bit of fucking. Bit loud there, man. Bit fucking loud. I could be fuck playing that. Didn't Dave Chappelle nearly get cancelled for making a transgender joke? Probably. It seems everyone's getting cancelled. I'm beginning to think if you haven't been cancelled at this stage, you're not funny enough. I think that's basically. I was in the shower yesterday, right? Having a bit of a washing around me ghoulies and all that. And I was thinking about the role of comedy and why it's being targeted, because whatever nefarious forces that are trying to fucking cause as much strife for the common people of planet Earth. One thing that comedy did brilliantly was it was a pressure release. If you look at The Simpsons, right? Simpsons had jokes about fucking everybody nearly, right? And then here's the beautiful thing about comedy is you make a joke about a certain fucking stereotype of someone and people laughed it off. And, whether that was Irish people, whether it was, Indian people, English people, Jewish people, whatever the fuck. There was, because I've been watching a shitload of Simpsons, it's just on in the background a good bit here. And you're like, oh, fuck, you'd never get away with that nowadays. But at that time, Simpsons was on everywhere, you know what I mean? And everyone watched it. So therefore, everybody shared the same sense of humor, and then everyone laughed. Like when it came to art, like some of the things they do about Ireland, people I mean, I don't like Irish people wouldn't get offended. They'd be made up that they got featured in The Simpsons. You know what I mean? And a joke was made at their expense. But like, if you can't fucking make joke, I mean, where did people lose the fucking sense of humor, man? You know what I mean? It was like, how do people become so thin-skinned? Do you know what I mean? Soft fucking, it's like for me, I at an early age, man, I was out on building sites just getting bollocked by hard dudes. And at the time, I was like, why are you being so mean? And I'm not saying that, like I certainly, I'm not I certainly don't make fun at people, at their own expense. Like if I'm gonna be messing about, like if I'm in a place of work, for example, I don't really haze people the way people do on building sites, because it's bullying, like, do you know what I mean? And Yeah, as Neo says about Series 3 of Hardy Bucks, soft to shape, little girly hand cream. But Dave can't be cancelled. He's too funny to cancel. Look, here's the thing, right? As long as people are making money for whoever they're signed to and they're making big money, money talks and bullshit walks. And the bullshit that these cancel merchants are trying to achieve isn't good for business. Like, what has come out of like what's funny lately? I mean, I don't know, man. I'm so it's like comedy for me has now become what pop music is or modern music. It's like I don't know what's going on. It's like for me it's kind of stayed at The Office, Peep Show. I haven't really I watched a bit of the Trailer Park Boys animation the other day and I was kind of like I felt a little bit too crass at times, but um fair play to them. Good on them. They're still fucking making stuff happen. The Trailer Park Boys was on skids for a good while there. I don't know. I must get in touch with your man Bubbles because I do know that there was some sort of dispute with I think it was Pat Dunn and I think whatever who was playing Ricky's dad was involved in it. But basically, the creators of Trailer Park Boys had said that this was it was the end of the road when it came to Trailer Park Boys. But then you had the cast of Trailer Park Boys who wanted to do it. So I think they ended up getting some sort of investors and ended up buying the other lads out of their share. But Neo says, I've been watching Kath and Kim. I like people just do nothing, but that one's not for everyone. Kath and Kim, are they the ones who went round to gaffs cleaning the place up? Kath and Kim. James Corden's after you. Said he's going to try and shift you. Kath and Kim. Geez, that's a good while ago, isn't it? That's 2002. Might have a little look at that. Where's that on? Is it on Netflix? I'll have a little look at this and see what it says. Oh, it is on Netflix. Yeah, Hardy Books is going to be off Netflix soon, unfortunately. Kath and Kim is an Australian sitcom created by Jane Turner and Gina Riley, who portray the title characters of Kath Day Knight, a cheery middle-aged, and that's as far as it goes. They're clicking on the link. Fair guy to them. Fair guy to the guys. I mean, really, fair guy to them. Um, let me see. Let me see. Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro said it's best when he said that the demand for racism far outweighs the supply. The demand for it far outweighs the supply. Interesting. Um, Blue Peter had more edge than today's state-sanctioned jesters. Yeah, Blue Peter. I remember seeing Tim Vincent of Blue Peter once training with the British Army up in Norway. They were doing some sub-zero the kind of testing to basically see how the mind works under extreme cold. So he jumped into this. They dug out this hole and filled it with water up in the fucking mountains, man. But I remember when he jumped into the ice, that they had to like give his name and his number, and there was like, "What's your name? What's your name? Speak up! I can't understand you. What's your name?" But I remember watching that. Ah, how we laughed. I doubt I would be as fucking fresh if I jumped into a lot of fucking cold water. Oh, good lord, good lord. My sister and brother-in-law were hanging out with Wim Hof, the Iceman, a couple of months ago. He's good friends with the lad who played what's his fucking name now? The Parnell Street Dragons lad. Tahir is real life. What's his name in the show again? The character. Don't know, man. What's his name? Your man with the long hair, the cool dude, is a sound bastard, man. But they were all jumping into this like little. He's got this. Wim Hof has got this little kind of a pool where you jump off like a little platform into it. My sister was there for like an hour and a half and didn't do it. She was the only person I ever went to his gaff and never did it. Let me see some of your comments there. Uncle Mick, Flesh and Blood. Um, have you listened to Houseplants? Paul Noonan, Bell X1 cross with a bit of techno. Really fucking good, in my honest opinion. Con Done. I will give that a check. I'll check that out. Summer Heights High, Angry Boys. Ronan, we were actually down there, me and Mike, your brother-in-law, in 2013 at Princess Productions. The production company that made that. We were there sorting out we were supposed to do a second feature film of the Hardy books, which unfortunately didn't happen because of that stupid bullshit court case that I was involved in. On the other hand, it was a good thing looking back because my son wouldn't have been born, and I really love my son. He's especially now that he's getting older and more self-aware, and he's a very cozy little fella. Big into the Paw Patrol. The daughter is fucking sound too. Absolute pair of mint kids. I hang out with them mostly. People Just Do Nothing is good, but Grinder is an unlikable character. I haven't watched it, but some people say that them and the one that's based in Swindon, or what's it called? That basically that they might have watched the Hardy books and took a little bit of a fucking leaf out of our book, a bit of artistic licensing. But then again, we did that to Trailer Park Boys, kind of, and then it turned into its own thing. Isn't People Doing Nothing, says Shawnee, just have a film coming out where they go to Japan? I don't know, man. I don't know. Bill Burr's a funny fucker. Actually quoted Bill Burr when he was talking about people getting really fat, and he's like, I don't understand, like, why, people are saying, oh, I'm eating McDonald's and I'm fat because of McDonald's, and they're trying to sue McDonald's. It's like everybody knows McDonald's is for kids and when you're hammered. And I was like, it really is. Joseph Remmer, what's Tordif up to these days? I've no idea what he's up to, mate. I've absolutely no idea. He could be on the fucking moon for all I know. Like, no one ever hears him. I think he's living in Portugal or something. I tell you one thing, that lad he fucking has it solved. Fair play to him. Well done to him. Let me see. Any other fucking crack there in the chat, lads? Any other crack? Any other fucking crack at all? Any other fucking crack out here? But I was going to say, Mutante says, honestly, I've not found the last two Chappelle funny. The controversy and the cancel talk is a red herring. A red herring for what, though? Massive J said, I've been watching the new series of Always Sunny. Yeah, fair play to them, man. Like they managed to just fucking, stick together and work for the greater good of the series. I think our crew became fractured and people wanted to do their own thing. And I think the other thing is when you have a successful series and you have people coming up to you the whole time, you'll always have people with their own agenda in the ears of individuals going, you should go on your own, man. Oh, the rest of you are holding you back. Think of all the money. I could be your manager. I can get you gigs. No, the other lads, they're out to do you. Oh, look at Maloney's bone structure. It's like, fucking fair play. He thinks he's cool with his fucking big jawline on him like a pony. Fuck him, man. Maloney's an evil bastard. He'll take all your money. He'll run off to fucking Sao Paulo and just start a fucking dating agency. And then he'll be sitting there going, ha 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 ha. But stick with me, man. I get you gigs. I get you gigs in fucking Wrexham. Actually, funny enough, I must have just seen that. It's always raining in Wrexham, and I was like, "Where did Wrexham come from?" But I seen it subconsciously, so I got to give that last bit there to you, mate. Fair play to Shawnee. Shawnee, do you know much about Wrexham? Do you? It's actually near North Wales. Let me see. That quote from Ben Shapiro was about the Jesse Smollett case, where he had to invent racism and a fake hate crime. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing, wasn't it, for old Jesse Smollett? And yeah, Dave Chappelle was onto that immediately. I mean, why create shit that doesn't exist? Like, there's already enough stuff in there, but it was very foolish. What was the outcome of such a case? I don't know, man. I don't know. Neo says, seems like most shows I really like end too damn soon. Yeah, that's the way it be. Bastard Sprinkler 3000. Any news, Smarty? Hey, not a fucking dicky bird from the man. Need that Series 5 money, man. Look, the thing is with me, right? You might have noticed this when it comes to creativity, great. When it comes to raising funds, I don't know. I kind of left that up to other people. And anytime I start looking at funding, the legalese is just so fucking mind-numbingly boring that I'm like, oh, and also if you a lot of these places where you go to for funding, that they've got all this fucking like woke jargon where you have to fill a certain quota to be eligible. And it's like, oh, jeez, just give us the fucking money, man, and I will guarantee that you will have some good stuff in return of investment. Who knows what the future holds, man? Who knows? Who fucking knows? Ryan Russell just bought the Wrexham FC with some other dudes. So who's Ryan Russell when he's at home? Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds has bought Wrexham. Nah. How random is that? Apparently, Ryan Reynolds is half Irish. He went to a Catholic school. Good Catholic. Um, Wrexham. Nah. Let me see this. Rob McElhenney as well. Fucking hell, man. Those lads must be doing well. Maybe I wouldn't mind going over to fucking old Robbie McElhenney. Bit of a crossover there would be nice. Maybe if there's any way of getting in touch with him, that'd be sound, man. Shawnee, that's a very profound quote you said there. Comedy is supposed to be like any art, dangerous and provocative. The more offensive a joke is, the more funny it is, says no autographs. Look here, look, here's the thing with comedy, right? You, comedy is funny because it's true. Basically in terms of like straight up quality comedy, as in what makes comedy funny is its relatability. And if you are in like there's a like I mean we're living in a day and age where people's view of reality is completely different. Like people are living in parallel realities from each other. So if you're a part of the realistic uh old school camp of reality, which is basically, you just accept what you see with your cognitive ability to the best of your ability and go, I want to know what the base reality is. Therefore, I can then progress with my own situation in life, navigating this fucked up, crazy world that seems to be getting increasingly more crazy. So that is basically with that, you have to ask. You want to know what the truth is. So if you basically live your life in a pursuit of truth and the base reality, then at least you know where you stand, right? And with that, there's a lot of people who have basically gone to fucking colleges, which just seem to be weird indoctrinations camps, as far as I can see. And so basically now you have all these people who've just been programmed with fucking nonsense, who haven't got the ability to ask themselves difficult existential questions. So with that preface in mind, anytime they are confronted by something that is fucking hilarious and true, they're offended by it. And it's like, well, you're being offended by something that is funny. And therefore, like I said earlier on, the brilliant thing about comedy is any tensions that are like in society are resolved. And not only are they resolved through that being um, a release valve, it also provides endorphins. And endorphins, then create happiness. So I think that's why the establishment is going after comedy as much as they are, because they want to ramp up as much tension and division between everyone as possible. Um, okay, that one guy, and I quote: "Colleges are full of fake communists and woke retards." Yeah, I mean, there seems to be some sort of, or like, academic autism, like weaponized autism, not traditional autism, but cognitive. Like, I mean, I don't know. Look, that's just it's just if you don't like it, you can fuck off. But yeah, it just I don't know, man. It feels like what like imagine being put into 300 grand worth of debt and coming out like a fucking automaton who can't think for themselves. Tell you, I fucking dodged a bullet there, not going to college in America. But the thing is, like, you see, everything is geared towards everything's fucking set up, man. You know what I mean? It's like law, like whether it's you know business law, entertainment law, civil law, criminal law. A lot of the time, the bar is a I suppose an elite agreement on what is and what isn't acceptable at a professional level. Same thing with colleges and degrees, and you have to do use. Like I remember when I was in college in Ballyfermot, I didn't graduate because I refused to do this presentation in communications. I was like, I don't want to do this. Why is this a mandatory module? It has not like it's fucking. I didn't like it, so I was like, fuck it, I'm not doing it, and I didn't, and therefore passed everything else apart from the thing I didn't want to do, and I was like, can't be arsed with it. And so therefore you have to do these modules in a lot of these universities in order to just get to the position to get the job you want. And if you don't have this degree, even though you're capable of doing the job, like a lot of people I meet, like I met a guy, I was talking to a guy about a year ago who said that he was working as a Swiss banker. So yeah, a bank in Switzerland. He was working there, and I said, "Well, what did you do in terms of university and college to get there?" And he said, "Well, I did 4 years of finance, and when he got to the job, none of what he'd learned in finance had any application to the job he did. I think the idea of college is to show people that you have a learned, like a trained mind, or basically you've just got a certificate to say you have been acceptably indoctrinated. I don't know. These are just fucking. What the fuck do I know? Let's see what some of your chat is saying. People don't fit the mold of public education, fall through the cracks a lot, sadly. Yes, Neo, that is something very, very true. Because again, like school, I mean, it starts early, right? There's a certain parameter that you have to fit into. And I was having this conversation with my sister Trisha. We're very observant people, and sometimes I think of my brain in terms of a computer that may be the processor for multitasking or for running like simultaneous tasks. It's not like a strong. The RAM is not strong, but I have a lot of storage space that I can relate to. But um, I don't know. Like I read recently that in China they've done away with all tests for kids under 16, and it's like, and I think that's a fucking great approach because I don't think a lot of kids develop cognitively at different ages, and therefore you've blackballed someone at the age of 11 when they go or 12 when they go into school, and then you've got in Ireland you've got the junior cert and the leaving cert, or in the GCSEs and the A levels in England. And some kids aren't ready for that. Some kids have a lot of shit going on in their personal lives, and all these things need to be taken into consideration. And I think putting that unnecessary pressure on kids at an early age it's outdated, man. Like you can like most kids can become autodidactic through following their own interests via YouTube videos. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, where'd you learn that? YouTube. But yeah, there is information on YouTube. If you want to learn how to change a fucking carburetor on a Harley Davidson, yeah, you go onto YouTube. You have learned this. YouTube is the biggest search engine in the world for tutorials. I mean, you can find lectures and papers and peer-reviewed notes on anything on YouTube. It's like a massive encyclopedia with a lot of weird shit as well. Hey, so that was that rant about that. And do you think Hardy Books will be cancelled by woke pricks and removed from streaming services? Fucking let them do it, man. Do you know what I mean? People will find it elsewhere anyway. If they do, they do. And like I said earlier on, if they do, it's a fucking mark of, yeah, you're actually funny because you made it was when I met Dave McSavage for the first time in Galway, like about 10 years ago, and I said what we did. He was like, "Oh man, that's great. I mean, like what you guys really did is you hold up the mirror to society truthfully. I mean, it's so raw and honest." And it's like this shit was going on, man. And when the amount of people who come up to me going, "Oh man, that's exactly like the tone I grew up in," and it resonated with people for the fact that it was true. I mean, like there was shit that was going on in town you couldn't put in. Do you know what I mean? Because it was like truth is fucking stranger than fiction. And some of the shit that goes on in small towns is just it's so outlandish. And it happens everywhere. Like human beings are fucking strange. You know what I mean? There's a whole strata. I mean, there's 7 billion people plus in the world. Some of the shit that goes on is you wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't fucking believe it, man. Where's Quato? Asked Graham Russell. He's down here having a little kip. Have a little kip there. In the Bobos himself. I don't know if you can see him, but he's down there having a little Bobo time. How to build a raft 101, says Graham Russell. Exactly. If you want to build a raft, YouTube it. How do you deal with toxic in-laws? Oh, Mikey Guitar. Please elaborate on the toxicity of said in-laws, and I will see what kind of info that I can throw into the mix. The Heartless Nobody. In my class, we had a lot of smart people be neglected because they weren't book smart. Well, that's the Heartless Nobody. I tell you, that's another great point. My friend John O'Kearns, all right, who it's funny, the people I know who are street smart, who have a lot of cunning and situational awareness, are often people who, when they see something on the news, they can see right through it. But a lot of the people who well, look, it's like those who did well in school did what they were told, and by doing what you're told and putting the graft in, you get rewarded with a piece of paper that allows you to then get into other places that enforce um, groupthink, let's say. But you know, as my neighbor, who's a god, would say, they're not books they're not book smart, but they're sly smart. So I mean, like these are people who, like, if you look at some criminals, right? Certain criminals, some of the elaborate ways of making money are a fucking genius. And you're like, imagine if they put them in some sort of situation where they were, organizing an event, or they'd be great on the spot problem solvers. Let me see. And the next one says, YouTube is amazing. I've learned so much from woodworking to fixing things. Yeah, it's all there, man. I mean, like a lot of people complain about, like, oh, we're living in hard times, and you know, yeah. Look, comparatively speaking, we live in, like, the average person lives a more luxurious lifestyle in terms of comforts than most gentry would have done 100 years ago. Aside from having fucking butlers and you know acres of land and whatnot. But yeah, like things, like we have good healthcare, like things are going down the tubes, and that needs to be fucking counteracted, and people need to wake up to that. But yeah, things are going well. Yeah. um YouTube is great for gardening, says Jambo 290. Fucking is, hey. Samantha Hager, how you doing, love? Haven't seen you for a long time. I'm all right. I'm all right. Bastard Sprinkler 3000. When's the next chapter of the Hardy books coming out? It's fucking hilarious. Ha ha ha. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Hopefully tomorrow, if I can get it done in time. I just need to listen back to it, which I'll put the laptop on and I lie there in the bed making mental notes, and then tomorrow I'll whittle it down a bit and then bosh her up. I really do want to get back into doing the Hardy book and then turn it into a physical book. And I'm thinking about maybe self-publishing that. So if maybe I might just do a GoFundMe or something for the book, publish it, and then get it out to people so you have hard copies. That look, because I would rather, instead of going to a publisher, I would rather go and publish it myself and have creative verite. What is it the name? Oh god, there was another expression. Something carte blanche. Um cinema verite, but no, it's not cinema verite. Literary verite. Um let me see. Let me see. Literally grew up, says Alex Lewis. Where are we now? Literally, I grew up in a small Welsh town, and obviously, apart from the cultural differences, it was so relatable. Cheers for the reply. No bother, Alex Lewis, mate. Uh, Cannibal Shawnee says that's why Hardy clicked. The world is the same anywhere you go. Yeah, of course. Everywhere you go, you're going to have a hierarchical, tiered system of those who are doing well, those who are doing mid-table, and those who are on the danger zone of relegation. Um, I won't answer that, Sprinkler Bite. Wookie Boss, how are your horse? Will you be doing a Christmas stream? I think I will actually. I think I will. Maybe Christmas Eve. I could maybe do this. Shawneen, a lot of teaching is allocated for the lowest common denominator. School isn't a place for the smart. Yeah, I think it's. I mean, look, what's what do people get in private schools versus public schools? You know, what is the, because sometimes I've met some people who are seriously fucking thick and ignorant, but they come from families who had enough money to send them to private schools to get them pushed over the line, and then they go on to nice jobs. So yeah, there is that. Wookie Boss, good to see you, lad. How your horse? Oh yeah, it was you again. School is a memory game, isn't it? Who can remember the most to fill the exam answers? Yeah, pretty much. It's basically how much have you crammed into your head, um, and then like a lot of it is fucking useless. You know what I mean? A lot of it you just like you cram it, do the test, and then erase it. You're not a smart lot, says Mikey Keane. Well, who the fuck cares, man? Hardest nobody. Instead of paying a plumber 170 euro to fix a radiator, I found tutorials on YouTube to do it myself. Yeah, it's like my brother-in-law Chris about 10 years ago. He had a washer break on his Fiat, and then he took it into the garage, and they go, "Oh, that'll cost you about £250, mate." He went onto YouTube, put in the problem, and said just put a washer on there for like 10p. Fixed it for 10p. So people prey on the ignorance of people's lack of understanding of these things, but yeah, quite a lot of these things are easily remedied. Knowledge is power. Okay, Shawneen says again, school is 50% conformity factory, 50% remedial knowledge. Sam Adam, fella called John Taylor Gatto, did great work pulling apart our education systems in the West, authored a book called Dumbing Us Down. Do you know what? Dumbing us down is, I think that's exactly what's been going on. I think it's been you look at people in your parents' generation, um, in grammar school, let's say they would come out with, they're all good at maths. They're all good at, well, not all of them, but they were well turned out. They had a bit more cop on, and now I think they're just teaching unnecessary models. Look, I mean, I might be distilling this into a very easy, nebulous catch-all when I say it, but I think it's clear to see that the the billionaire class and these NGO types have managed to concentrate so much wealth into their private hands that it suits them to have a dumbed down population who can't think for themselves and can't progress and get out of that social. I mean, look, there is opportunity. Like the good thing is, counter to what I just said, the internet has opened people up to create on their own terms. And the good thing is, like these old institutions of like the music industry or TV, you can basically grow your own following if you put your own time and energy into it. You can get discovered, and you can do this on the internet. And I think the nice thing about that is it removes the middleman who's been there to take money. A really good video on this is a producer called Steve Albini talks about the history of music and how it was very. Joseph Sullivan, thank you very much, sir. It's very kind of you. Good to see you, Joseph Bay. Good to see you. Also, if you like what you're hearing on this and you like Maloney's Digest and you would like to support it, you can also go to Maloney's Digest at PayPal as well. And anything you, big or small, is greatly appreciated. And thank you very much, Joseph, for that. And thank you, Shawnee Thornton. Thank you, Shawnee from Chicago. Let me see. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so that Steve Albini does a really good presentation about how making a demo back in the day was a very expensive thing. So first of all, to get to a demo stage, Mikey Reinhardt, thank you very much, sir. Excellent to see you too, mate. How are you doing? You were just lurking in the shadows, were you, Mikey? Bye. Thanks very much. Very kind of you as always, mate. I appreciate that. So yeah, and off the Irish podcast. Oh, we'll be chatting, big man. Christmas special on Maloney's Digest, and we'll hop onto yours for another fucking house party job. Let me see. Yeah, but Steve Albini said to get to a demo phase was very expensive because obviously the technological equipment back then was 8-track tapes or reels, and the editing of all that was long and arduous, and you had to clip reels together. And with the advance of technology, it went from like cassettes and LPs, and then what they would do, these record companies, like first of all, let's say if you use America as an example, to break out of America and export your pressed vinyls or tapes and export them to Europe or Asia, for example, that would be even more expensive. So to get into that top bracket of being a musician was extremely difficult. And a lot of these bands that you think were rolling in it, the record label would commission the artist, their own in-house artist, and take money off them for that as a commission. Then when CDs came in, you'd think that was easier because the CDs are smaller, but they actually took, what they would do is when they were exporting these, they would take off like 20% for like damaged or lost merchandise. So yeah, so basically you had like booking agents would be tied into the record labels. Record labels would pay radio stations to put their acts. I mean, this is how pop music becomes popular because it's constantly being played on the radio and it's repetition. I guarantee you, any of my tunes, and if you haven't heard them, it's on Spotify, Mark Maloney EP. Give it a follow. I would appreciate that. But if you were to listen to that every day on the radio, after a while, people would be like fucking singing One Man Army nonstop, and it'd be like Martin Maloney, it's got number one. Because it's basically it gets into your head, and radio play is all controlled by these big record companies. So Steve Albini, check it out. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Now let's have a look at some of your comments here. Crowdfund that book, man. Shawnee, I will do, mate. I will do. And fair play. I've a lovely little crowd here. I've missed doing these streams, and I'm sorry that I haven't been active. But I will. I'm gonna try and do them, regularly. I mean, Thursday nights is usually a good night for me to do the stream. It's like the handbrake is off towards the end of the week. Alex Lewis would happily pay to support the book. Great idea. Thanks very much, Alex, mate. And you can hear the book in the form of I think for me, it's a good way of getting the. I'm going to have to get an editor, but I think for now, what I'm going to do is just, for me, it gives it like a weekly task of getting the podcast done. So then it has the audio book, kind of holds my feet to the fire to get things done. Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, I shouldn't really be like for what I've done already and a couple of other chapter ideas that I had. And even if you have any other ideas that what you'd like to feature in the book, yeah, throw some ideas, and I could I could go deeper into some of the background of the characters. Bastard Sprinkler 3000 said Bill Gates is Vader and Schwab is fucking Palpatine. Hey, what's going on, man? But there's probably people behind them as well, man. Gates is a eugenicist. His father was the chairman of Planned Parenthood, and whatever your takes are on reproductive healthcare as it's known, cumulatively there has been how many millions of people haven't been around because of look. And this isn't the debate. I'm just saying, um, yeah, there's apparently a lot of this is going into kind of a lot of these fetuses get sent away and are ordered like body parts online for various different experimentations, which I think it's pretty fucking macabre, really, when you think about it. Like, without, I didn't want to go down that dark street, and we'll whoa get out of there quick, take the first right, and go straight into Samantha Hager. It's ridiculously windy here, and it was 60 degrees today. It sounds like great crack. Whereabouts are you again, Samantha? I heard that there's been some hard winds around Nebraska way. Heartless Nobody. I'd support a book too. Thank you very much, sir. Neo, actual engaged learning versus random printed papers that are boring as fuck. Well, like this is something about what I used to what I would learn most from is when you actually have a discussion with the teacher and people ask questions, and that's the best way of digesting information. Just having to sit and cram. I just find it so boring, man. I'm not like that. I can't sit too still for a bit, for a long time. That's why I haven't really been good at writing. I need someone just cracking the whip on me, going, get it done. And most writers are like that. It's a very tough thing to do. But once you get into the rhythm of it, it's fine. But if you finally do get into a creative groove and someone distracts you, that's it. You could be fucked for like 2 or 3 months because you'll keep putting it off. I mean, I'm basically putting off ways that can seriously enrich my life for the better and create something worth doing. Neo, I remember my school having a gifted class where they would build robots and shit, and they're all in MIT now, and the rest of us just sit in a room and stared at chalkboards or paper for hours. Wow. It'd be class to build robots, man. It's the Masons have it all sewn up, says Meocon 82. Fraternal boys. Skull and bones cunts. Um, Graham Russell, Predator 2 tagline, tattooed on you. What was it? Silent, invisible, invincible, and in town with a few days to kill. Predator 2. Voodoo fucking magic man. Hey, King Willie, what have you seen? Who is this guy? I don't know who he is, but I do know where he is. Predator 2 there, and then the Predator takes off King Willie's head and he's just carrying him by the hair, and his head is still going, ah! That was, I remember hearing about that in school from lads being like, then he cuts off King Willie's head and he's fucking screaming, mate. And that's fucking dead scary. That was when I was about 8. A lot of people's stories about movies they'd seen in school were more scary than the actual movie themselves. Then when you actually see the movie, it was like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Hard as nobody. Sorry to spam chat. I learned nothing to benefit me in the real world from school. We need to know how to cook, wash, manage books, banking, living, not x minus y equals 2. Look, if people want to learn algebra and advanced mathematics, because it does have it, obviously, for engineering and data modeling and this kind of thing, and architecture, fine. But just let people. I mean, I think here in Sweden they do the basic, and then you get to choose what you want at like a senior high school level. So if you want to go and do skateboarding, you can, well, providing you get in, you can like just skateboard and then take exams in that, and then it's like almost like a vocational approach. Lick out beast, brilliant news, Morton. Finally landed myself a job after graduating during the pandemic. Nice one. If I play to Lick out beast, I'm starting on Monday servicing gentlemen under the Brooklyn Bridge at 15 bucks a man. You got me there, hey. You got me there, hey. Alex Lewis, where let me see where that. Small shite towns do have a sort of charm to them. Do you ever miss it? Ah, man, like I do miss my hometown. It's almost like it's an extended family. You go and everyone knows the crack, and for most part, people look out for each other, and that was a nice part about Christmas. Like you wouldn't know who'd be back for the holidays, like, but that's fucked. Shawneen blames Gutenberg for inventing movable type. The world went to shite ever since the printing press. Sam Atom, what they taught me at school was to fit 2 A4 pages They taught about our leaders, royalty, and the Industrial Revolution. That's it. Yeah. Well, the educational system would want you to think that the royal family was a great bunch of lads when they're all a bunch of fucking slime balls on fucking Ghislaine's jet. Bands make nothing off album sales. It's tours and merchandise. Yeah, that's right. That's nowadays, all right. Um, that is very true. Quib, after 8 years in uni, a friend of mine has only been offered jobs in teaching, though after this long in school, they don't want to go back in. Fucking hell, man. That's a bit depressing, isn't it? 8 years. Maloney, do Maloney. No apologies, man. Self care, Galaccioni, Irish Red. Keep the noise down. I'm trying to sleep. I'd buy a Hardy book, says Ian McGarr. Well, it'd be good crack. It will be. It's something like, man, it's take me a long time, but it'll get done eventually. When it is, it'll be fucking class. Is the Hardy books on DVD? Yeah, it is. I don't know if you can. Maybe someone's got it somewhere on Amazon. I'm not sure. Definitely include a chapter on Uncle Mick's origin story. That's a good touch. No, that's a good touch, Shawnee. Fair play to you. I found a Hardy Books DVD in my charity shop. Got it for £2. Fucking nice. That is a nice buy, man. Fair play to you, Ian. That's a nice touch. If Netflix removes it, I'm not mentally prepared for that. Yeah, apparently. We'll see what the crack is. Real news. So is Sweden vax passports for pubs, etc. It unfortunately, yes, but it's basically like this. If you want to have full capacity, you need the vax passport. If you want to go back to restrictions, then you don't do it. And I think a lot of the more honorable businesses that I know have gone back to restrictions instead. I think it's fucking ludicrous, man, to be quite honest with you, because Sweden, despite what people might, Sweden was making everyone else look bad, and that's not good. So I think also the new Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson, I think her name is. Yeah, there was pictures of her speaking up at the World Economic Forum. See, look, here's the thing, right? And it's, I think it's going beyond, the realms. I mean, most of these things that people would be like, oh, conspiracy theory. I think a lot of people are waking up to it now and they're like, hang on a minute, mate. It's been fucking 2 years of our lives have been fucking stolen for this. And I'm beginning to think that, a lot of people who are like, oh, I'll have to take it because I want to go on a holiday, even though they're like, why do I want to take it? A lot of those people are starting to go, hang on, I've fucking done my part and I'm not getting anything back for this. Those who haven't taken it are looking at this going, there's fucking less reason that they want to take it because of all the shit that's going on. And then you have people like Fauci, the big fucking eyelids on him, trying to convince people who've had two that the third one will work, but at the same time trying to tell people that the second one will work. I mean, it's just it's things are getting a bit out of control. But what it's all about, right? Okay, you had Pfizer is making fucking bank, man. And when a company gets that rich, they can do whatever the fuck they want, man. And they will do. And they will buy off anyone, I mean, Pfizer has for many years, and it's common knowledge, they will go to a GP and offer the GP rugby tickets or fucking, paid trips. They do that through the reps. I know that from years ago. And a lot of the time, it's GPs are incentivized to give people medicine that maybe exercise and healthy eating and laying off the ciggies and the booze might fucking remedy pretty quickly. But I'm not a doctor nor a scientist. But it's up to the individual to kind of think about that themselves. But in a nutshell, this digital fucking ID is what's being implemented, and that's basically, I think what that is about is the fiat currency of America since Bretton Woods, when they took it off the gold standard under Nixon. Look at like America. Biden's just lifted the fucking debt ceiling to another 2.5 trillion. Like, this is funny money, man. Like, what this is doing is debasing what was left of a fiat currency, which wasn't much. And as Napoleon Bonaparte would say, all fiat currencies return to their initial value, which is the paper that they're printed on. See Germany in the pre-World War II with the hyperinflation, when they had to rush and run down from work to the fucking bakery to get bread. I mean, it's on the way. It's all happening. And yeah, it's also one of the 2030 World Economic Forum predictions that America is not going to be one of the leading countries. Like, if you look at it like this, the people, by and large, the people of America are fucking great people. The military industrialization complex of America, the news corporation and media, Wall Street, asset management companies such as Citadel and BlackRock, and all these guys, shady, have a very bad influence on the world. The foreign policy, which was led by this military industrialization complex at the expense of the taxpayer, and the lives lost from their servicemen and people across the seas, fucking evil shit. And then you have agencies then who basically are covering for these elite. Like, if you look at the Maxwell trial, that should have been, that is one of the biggest stories of the fucking century, man. And that goes right up the chain of command. But no, they took that. Apparently, they took the first judge off as well and put someone else who'd been promoted by Biden. So look, this is just stuff that I have seen, and that's my observation on it. I don't know if it's true or not, but you know, circumstantial evidence looks pretty fucking damning. Okay, so real news. To answer your question, back to the original point, I don't know if it's mandatory. I think it might be voluntary from the business regarding these passes, but the passes basically are being lined up as some sort of data. Instead of it being a fiat currency, the currency is data, people's movement, and that will probably be tied into some sort of like social credit rating thing like they have in China. And again, your good boys and fucking girls will get woo right to the top for doing what they're told. But anyone else who's like, I want to do a Lenny Kravitz and go my own way, or Fleetwood Mac job, will be, yeah. Anyone who's critical or has any dissenting opinion will be relegated to the fucking bottom. It'll just be like school. Let me see. So yeah, hopefully they fucking do away with it, man, because yeah, life was completely utterly normal before they brought that in. It was sound. And yeah, it's just, I find it unnecessary. And I think a lot of Swedes will probably, because they've enjoyed a life of relative freedom lately, they're like, nah, man, I'm not fucking going back to that. And I think there was a lot of people who would probably not frequent places that would put a mandatory pass in there. So I hope that has answered your question. Ian McGarr, it wasn't the movie DVD, it was series 1 and 2. Fucking sound, man. Tofas. Manda, how you doing, love? Just saying hi. It's too late for me. Hope you're well. Thank you very much, Manda. Joseph Sullivan, I've seen the whole series. It was brilliant. Good lad. Let me see. We got a couple more here. Well, I went on, so there's going to be a lot of things to answer here. Let me see. Joseph Sullivan, looks like he was replying to Shawnee. Real news: do they still sell Dutch gold in Ireland? No pubs for me this Christmas. No jab for him. I think they do sell it over there. I think they do. Ian McGarr, I give out about my small town, but I wouldn't change it for the city. Well, it's the best of both worlds. Real news saying they can get fucked, says Amanda. Joseph Sullivan, I'm a strong believer that society with all its bullshit is unsustainable. There is a worldwide debt bubble that will pop. Oh, that's fucking happened. That is in the post. And I think, yeah, people thought the 2008 crash was bad. Holy shit. You know what comes after fucking big depressions? Big war. Bradley Clancy, well, man, hope you're keeping good. Thank you, Bradley. Same to yourself, mate. Alex Lewis, say my name full again. It gives me a chub on. Alex Lewis, you big chub on merchant. Vax passports are fucking tyrannical, hey, says Bastard Sprinkler. People have to be jailed after this. Fucking Nuremberg jobby, hey. Yeah, you know what? It is, when you look at the fucking, that people are being beaten by riot police, and you're kind of looking, you're going, right, they're supposed to be, according to the layperson, there to support and protect citizens of the country, and it seems that a lot of these people. Though, I mean, I think when you break it all down, every government has been completely compromised. Most agencies, media outlets, financial institutions, um, governments, they're all fucking singing in unison from the same hymn sheet, and it's quite. I mean, look at the size of these protests that are going on around the world. You know, I don't know. I don't know what the story is. It's like it's you look at Guadeloupe, like there was they had to get the army out there, and you can't. I mean, like they can try, but the thing that makes this different from previous um, times in history where authority and establishment has committed egregious um, war crimes or genocide, democide, or the revoking of inalienable freedoms. They haven't had the internet, and the internet has been something that has obviously it's a two-way mirror. The establishment can see what's going on with people who are using the internet, but at the same time, information is leaking out about them. So it's kind of like in a weird way leveled the playing field, and the waters will be muddied, and there will be people who are like, I'm an expert, I'm a fact checker. Seems like a lot of these fact checkers have been sponsored by the same people who are trying to make this shit go away. As the old saying goes, I use often, paper doesn't refuse ink. Ian McGarr, I can't see Spider Man because I've no passport or license as ID for the cinema that the world we're in. It's fucking. Yeah, I mean, let me just tell me, anyone out there, what difference does it make if you have a pass to say? I mean, the thing isn't fucking working. Oh yeah, the Sackler family, says Shawnee. They are a fucking evil bunch of cunts. Who have made billions off fentanyl. I mean, like I was talking to a lad who was, I won't mention any names, but what they would do is they would buy a fentanyl tablet, or not fentanyl, oxycontin, crush it up and snort it. And I never realized this was even a thing, man. People are fucking snorting painkillers. I mean, this is fucking mental. And this is in the States, man, probably other places. Amanda says there are still too many people who believe it. They're as bad as people doing it at this point. Well, they are, because hey, give an old fucking like in the chat there. Give an old like. Yeah, and for me, people are like, oh, he's gone wrong, man. He's a conspiracy theorist. It's like I'm just basically looking at what's going on, and that's what I see. And it depends on where you're getting your information from. I don't think there are any like legacy media platforms that are trustworthy at this point in time. I really don't. Pfizer is already saying 4 jabs at least. Oh, it's great. It's fucking man, great for the shareholders. It's great money. Fucking great business for them. Fair play to them. I'm in Michigan, so a couple of states away from Nebraska. Yeah, I heard there's mad weather going on over there at the moment. Real news. I'm in London, but I'm from Mayo. Mayo book. Not looking forward to going back Christmas. It'll be the Omicron spreader this year. Oh man, I just don't understand, man. Like for any, usually you let it pass through, and it goes away. Have you noticed everyone's got the flu all of a sudden? Last year there wasn't one case. Chicago halfway in between Nebraska and Mich. Another pop drinker. Good on you, fucking old Midwest boys. Weimar Germany hyperinflation. Yeah. And I tell you one thing. Once you get a population hungry enough and pissed off enough, and then people, charismatic, psychopathic leaders looking for someone to point the finger at, shit fucking gets carried away pretty quickly. And people in terms of crowds aren't very bright, man. They just they go along with the crowd to get along, and that's when fucking. I mean, sometimes if you look at the Reddit Island post about these things, and that seems very biased, and I wouldn't be surprised if there are people being paid to, groups of people who are being paid to write things that stray away from a reasonable, rational debate. I mean, like, man, I love a good debate, and just to see people thrashing it out and having a mass debate, I think it's a sight to behold. Bradley Clancy says, completely agree. I think they'll try to crash crypto and then move us into their. Oh yeah, that's the plan. It's going to be, and that's what it's about. It's going to be a centralized, controlled digital currency, and people have been talking about this for years, man. Aaron Russell, a lot of boys, man, a lot of boys talking about this. No, barely no coverage on that trial, says Neo, in relation to the Maxwell trial. Okay, Neo says, Bradley Clancy, I can't go to cinema, gym, barbers, restaurants. Ireland is a kip now. Says, but yeah, it's what can you do, man? For the amount of people who are kind of questioning this, there's a lot of people who are just like, so I've seen on Twitter this woman from, I think she was from The Apprentice. She was talking about they need to make life very difficult for refuseniks, and it's like, can't stand how people just can't see, like, they're doing the bidding of big pharma overlords, and there's no, like, I mean, you have the likes of Robert Malone out there, or Peter McCullough. These are proper fucking um Nobel Prize winners. You know, their lies and their plans are coming unraveled, and at the seams, man. You can see it happening just slowly and quietly, but it's there. Well, I think that's why they're getting so. It seems like they're on some sort of time schedule. I don't know what the deal is. Ian McGarrett, what's your take on the stories we have a cure for cancer, but they won't release it as the foundations would lose billions? Okay, well, when you look at it like this, who knows? I mean, who knows? It stands to reason. I remember meeting a nurse once, an American woman in Dublin years ago, and she said she gave up being an oncologist because she's seen what it was doing to people. And again, do not be taking my medical advice, but look at the technology we have. I mean, it's all about treatment, not cure. And which is fucking wrong because it goes against the Hippocratic Oath. And I think maybe a lot of medical staff don't realize that what they're entering into. A lot of people just trust what they're being told from above. So Neo, the company that made it got sued a shit ton of money, and they have not so much. It didn't even make a dent. Watch Dopesick with Michael Keaton. It really shows how evil pharmaceutical companies are. They told doctors that Oxycontin wasn't addictive. Yeah, they're fucking, man. I mean, look, they're gonna get their comeuppance in this world or the next world. Karmically, you can't fucking profit off the death and misery. I mean, these are people's fucking family members. These are all individuals who had hopes and dreams, and there is people who will, there are psychopathic people who will sleep at night knowing that they've made, like, money is their god, man. You know what I mean? They worship money, and you can't take it with you when you go. And the meek shall inherit the earth. Did you see what's going on in Australia right now? It's terrifying. What's going on in the world? It's fucked. Yeah. See that guy? I can't remember his name. He's from the Northern Territory. He's like, let me fucking get this straight, man. Let me get this straight. If you fucking harbor anybody, you're classed as an anti-vaxxer. I mean, it's just like these little catch-all. There's a person who I know here who just thinks that anybody who chooses not to take it for whatever reason is automatically a Trump supporter, which is just, it shows how blinkered and narrow-minded his worldview is. That you can take a whole swathe of people who, for their own reasons, from all different walks of life and different spectrums of belief and political backgrounds, just generalizes people. Like, this is the kind of, like, it's comfortable ignorance. Like, there are extended family members of mine who, I don't know if they're aware of what my opinion is. I just couldn't be bothered entering into into a discussion about this with them because basically, as Frank Zappa says, the mind is like a parachute, works best when it's open. Joseph Sullivan, I would recommend land that you can cultivate or have livestock graze and counter inflation to survive what's coming. I'm looking at land in your home country. The US is too fucked. Joseph, do you know what, mate? At the end of the day, and I had this discussion with an Italian friend of mine yesterday, and I said we were out walking in the forest, and I said, this underneath, this is land. And here in Sweden is pretty cool because they have a lot of public land that you can just, it's called Allemans Rätts. And some of the things here in the Swedish constitution are quite cool. Like it's they have a lot of like you can stay on the land if you need to for a night, or you're free to wander and hike around the woods and that kind of thing. And I was like saying, this is the land, cultivating land. That's a value. You got Bill Gates, who owns most of the farmland in the world now. Land, minerals, food production. This is basically what is of value. And that's why Gaddafi, when he got taken out, when he said to the States, if you want my oil, you're gonna have to give me gold because gold has value. How are you, Lauren Ian Kavanagh Bay? Ian McGarr, anytime someone has claimed they've cracked cancer, they go missing. It could be bollocks stories, but may not be. Who knows? Who knows is right. It's a fucking subject that I'm not going to dwell on. But it's an interesting question. Christine Gavigan, top human. Miss you, brother. A man, Christine. Miss you too, mate. The henchman. You are a good hench. A loyal hench. Bastard Sprinkler 3000. 1930s, 40s Germany all over again. Never thought it would happen again in my lifetime. I guess too much time has passed. People have forgot. Well, that's the problem, man. People have forgot. And it's amazing how fast people would be. I remember once hearing a line from a Polish general who said, the worst day in peacetime is better than the best day at wartime. And I think a lot of people who are like, yeah, let's go and fucking, people are fucking angry, man. And their anger is being manipulated and misdirected away from those who are actually causing the anger. For show, says Gavin John Byrne, like the Wu-Tang Clan, karma ain't nothing to fuck with, kid. Bernie G. Yeah, that's right, man. What goes around comes around, and like these fuckers, man. Like I always think about that line from X-Men 2 when Magneto's talking to Pyro, and he goes, he's fucking knocking around making flames. He goes, "You're a god among insects," and I think the likes of these people are so fucking. They've got everything they want, man. I often think, like, I've obviously never had that kind of wealth, but I often think, like, the crack must be gone out of life. You've done everything. You can go anywhere you want. You can, and then it just turns to what kind of deviancy or like what kind of megalomaniac power trips, because that's what it comes down to. It comes down to like rivalries with other billionaires, or what kind of power and control can they exert over people. It's not about kingdoms or nations anymore. It's more subtle than that. It's about companies having all the power and unknown entities and CEOs. It's really fucking crazy, man. Like I often think about, like, in Ireland when they had the water meter protests, and that was because the government had wanted to bring in a fee of €100, which came out of people's pockets. They held on to that money. That money was just resting in their accounts, but they could see that. So that fucking small bit of money was enough to mobilize an entire, I think it was maybe like 300,000 or 400,000 people that came out to the protest that time. And if only people could see the amount of money that has been taken from them through inflation, through taxes, through like closing down and scaling back of essential services. Man, if people could see what is actually, who's making this money, like these asset management companies, like, fuck, if people knew what was going on, man, they'd go mental. Graham Russell says, is that a see-through beard you're growing? Let's see. You can't even own property without paying taxes to the government. It's crazy. Yeah, well, there's a lot of what is it? The homesteading. I mean, I think homesteading is. I think what's going to start happening in the future is you're going to start seeing free states. You're going to start seeing people that are basically having like communes within like states, which basically if they if people declare a republic within these small states, that's when the fucking boys come in and there's a Waco, Texas Mark II job going on. Sean says, up to World War II, they were averaging one a year, 24 years. What's that about? Lauren Kavanagh says, grand, just finished and handed in my uni work. Congratulations. Till next year. So ready to be done with the shite. How are you keeping yourself? Good on you, Lauren. Fucking help me write the hardy book and we'll be away with it. Ireland too scared to collect tax money owed from Apple. Yeah, that's just, I mean, you know, one of the biggest controversies for me that I think, other than there's many of them, was the fact that they closed down the A&E or the ER in Roscommon. I mean, that's a big district of the Midlands. Without, I mean, how many people have died because they haven't made it to hospital in time? You know, like they could have had ambulance stations that they could put it into better roads, better healthcare. Like fucking hell, man. Like the the property crisis at the moment is just fucking insane, man. I can't. It would have remedied a lot, but don't know. It's always sunny. Touches on Ireland being a tax haven. Well, they're of Irish descent, man, so they know well what the crack is. Bastard Sprinkler says, doubt Schwab and Gates are hanging out in can gaffs, talking to hard cunts, talking hard chats. No, they're not at all. Not at all. Danny DeVito uses it to hide his money. I bet he fucking does. Didn't Ireland somewhat recently add property tax, formerly not having it? Yeah, they did. Inheritance tax as well. Like, and then there was a nice little touch you could do if you didn't. First of all, those fucking Green Party numpties were in a coalition with Fianna Fáil back in around like 2005. And when I was younger, right, when I was like like a kid to like my probably early 30s, I was always like, oh, the Green Party, man, they care about the environment. But there's a lot of shit there's a lot of shit that they've caused. Like, for example, the whole idea was put tax on these large engines, like so it's the likes of solicitors and fucking bankers and money men around Dublin who are driving around in Range Rovers and you know these 4x4s. But it was like a blanket tax. So anyone else who lived in the country who needed a farm or had a farm and and they had a family, so they needed a 4x4 that could transport their kids at the same time, had to pay and they still do have to pay an insane amount of tax. Like this fucking tax shit, man. I mean, people just need to go, look, I'm not fucking doing this anymore. Get to fuck. And if enough people get up and go, no, fuck off. I've had enough. Game over, man. But there's a lot of money to be made. Compared to other countries, now the only places that don't have it are basically shitholes you wouldn't want to live in, says Neo. Mick Collins and the boys didn't die to be sold out to the EU, big corporations, and every other fucker, says Bastard Sprinkler. Neo, yeah, nothing more insulting than the government taking a cut after my mom passed away. Fucking vultures. I feel like the vast majority of tax money just goes to BS, like paying some rich cunt. It's exactly where it's going, man. Like like that's property your mother and father had worked hard. It's so that you and your siblings would be looked after they departed. And I'm sorry to hear your mother died, mate. But like, and then for it to be taken away arbitrarily like that, there's no distance left to run. Ian McGar says, my aunt got the house off my grand, fully paid for. The government came after her for tax. Yeah. So, I mean, people are given houses, right? And then they're like, I don't want it. I mean, because like if someone's given like a farm and a house, it's like they have to pay 40,000 euro. And where are you going to find 40? Where's the average person going to find that kind of money? Controlled opposition, says Deuterino Do. Gavigan, Cangaff is prime for some Green Party ball touching each other in fairness. Oh ho ho, got that one right. Neo, yeah, if you don't pay property tax here, then you can take a house you own 100%. Yeah, it's absurd, man. It's yeah, like I said about the cars, that I got caught on another tangent, but like you wouldn't have to pay the tax. You just pay. You go and get like a retroactive form from the guard and say, "Oh, the car was off the road for 6 months," and then they're like, "Sound," and you go into the tax office then. But they did away with that. Or if you were going away, you're like, "All right, I'm going to be going away to fucking America for 3 months." You go in and say that your car was off the road, so you didn't have to continue paying that tax. Nah, you have to pay the lot. This is the kind of shit every which way they're fucking doing you. Neo says, I've always had the best convos on these chats. Feel like it'd be a good time to smoke a fat joint with a bunch of you and talk about the world. Man, you know what? Great people on here. Really, really good, nice little organic touch. You know what I mean? Some really good people. And that's why I'm on here for so bloody long, man. Especially when the chat gets going and it gets nice. Sorry about that. Yeah, Bradley Clancy. So if my mother dies and the mortgage is paid on the house and she leaves me the house in the will, I'll still have to pay tax on it. Yeah, 30%, I think, if I'm not mistaken, which is fucking crazy. So your mother paid off that with her hard work. And back, and back in the day where like, sometimes you go, when I was your age, I had four houses. It's like, yeah, you could buy a house for like fucking 10 grand, especially in Ireland when they start selling council houses. And then you could like people who lived in council houses could just buy a house off the council for nothing, man. So tax is bollocks, Ian McGarr. Like I don't mind tax if it's fucking going to the public good, but so much of it is squandered, man. Fuck off. The 33% applies to that. Oh my god. Bradley, mate, it's I think the only way out of it really is if you are bequeathed the house before your parent dies, which is but most people don't even want to think like that, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like most people don't want to have to think about their parents having to pass away in advance of that. But yeah, I mean they're literally like they're squeezing so much. I mean it's a like who the question is. Well, I mean I could say who's got all the money, but I mean if you look at these assets, I mean like you got the I was watching. There's an advert came on at YouTube the other day, and it was Father Christmas driving a big red truck, right? And you're like, okay, this, and he goes into a shop, he comes out and he buys a can of Pepsi, and you realize that that's a Pepsi commercial, but with the iconography of Coca Cola. And then I was like, oh, that was pretty cheeky. But then you realize that like BlackRock and Vanguard, Citadel, they like I think it's BlackRock is the biggest shareholder of both Coca-Cola and Pepsi. So like the majority stakeholder in both those companies is able to do this because they own such a massive equity in both companies. The Great British Mortgage Fraud, a film worth watching by the Bernician. But another one is Monopoly: Who Owns the World, which is on Rumble. You should check that out, man. That'll really fucking put things into perspective for you. Bradley Clancy, they fucking know most people don't want to think about that. Yeah, exactly. Pastor Sprinkler, you could leave school at 11 years old back in the day and be married with children and two houses before you've even sprouted your first pube. They had it so easy, hey. Well, I'm sure like they looking back, right? I mean, obviously, when you look back to when you were a kid, there was a lot of stuff like your parents were doing for you that you just, when you're a kid and you live in a house, it's a foregone conclusion that the house is always there. It's the illusion of permanence, and it's only when you get to when you get to the age of having children yourself, and you struggle to pay the bills sometimes, and it's always like for me, I'm a single parent in terms of I've got a girlfriend, but I'm a one parent family, and the annoying thing about Stockholm is you have to the bills come out at the end of every month. The nature of my work is freelance, so sometimes at the end of each month, it's like, how am I gonna fucking pay the bills? Because it's like you need like 2,000 fucking euro a month. Like Stockholm's an expensive city, man. Like if like I got to be out of this place in April, so I got to try and find a place. And the average the average price of renting a place monthly over here, because it's all secondhand markets. If you want a first hand contract with an apartment block, it's like they're like hen's teeth, man. You've got to be on a waiting list for like 20 years, or you can buy the actual contract from someone else for like 20 to 30 grand. It's fucking crazy. So what you get is a lot of subletting. So like a place like this that I live in, you could be paying 1,500 euro a month. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that I had kids here, like I wouldn't have stuck around. Do you know what I mean? I'd be back in Ireland, causing shite. But you know, you got to do what you got to do for your kids, man. You got to do it. And I hope they put me in a nice home when I'm old. Fucked how they treat the older generation too. My girlfriend's grand got diagnosed with dementia. They stripped her of her home and her widow's where is that? That's gone up. Oh fuck. Well, that was interesting, but it was retracted. But yeah, it's fucking sick, man. I know it was maybe a little bit personal there. Ian McGar says my parents didn't have it easy. It was a hard world for them. Yeah, same as mine. Same as mine. The government doesn't want people to be dependent on them for everything. If property tax didn't exist, people could just buy property and truly retire. Yeah, like I've heard stories here in Sweden about horror stories about elderly people who have paid into this fucking system, you know, for all their life, and some of them have a choice where it's like, can they afford their medication, or can they afford to buy food for themselves and their cat? It's tragic, and there's no, like, people think, oh, Sweden is it's the fucking, the benefit capital of the world, man. There's no fucking easy way out. There's no if you're on your own, you're on your own here. It's become very Americanized in that way. Um, Fucked how they treat older generation. My girlfriend's grand got diagnosed with dementia. They stripped her of her home and her dead husband's savings to pay for her cat. Oh man, it's fucking make your blood boil, man. No fucking respect for humanity whatsoever. Old folks' homes here cost like 3 grand a month for jail cell and non-existent service. It's insane. Yeah, not good. It's fucked. Well, look, I'm gonna. Oh, 1 second. We got one more. The disrespect seniors get is crazy. Like, what's that? They should be beat kids and throw them in a room and let the old folk have the toys. Just kidding. Yeah, it's the older you get, the fucking harder it gets, man. Like when you book up, you look at a lot of elderly people, and you got to pay them their dues a lot of the time. They've lost loved ones, friends, their looks. The older you get, the more you start like falling out of touch with what's contemporary. A friend of mine the other day was talking about going on a date, and he's 60, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm a hip dude." I'm like, even the word hip, no one uses anymore. But he's a cool dude. Fair play to him. So, wait, hold up. When the fuck did you move to Sweden? I've been in Sweden for years, man. Fucking Sweden, man. Look, I think I'm not complaining about Sweden at the same time. I mean, I think Sweden has handled this whole shit until now very even-handedly and very fairly. Graham Russell, I wonder what Stephen French whispered into Danny Dyer's ears at the time. You know what, mate? I'm the big bad devil Frenchman. And Shawneen says, just turned 40 something. Time is a cruel educator. I think the young buck is having a bit of a cough there in the heat of the night. Ian McGar, thank you very much. Good ranting with you. Merry Christmas. And Merry Christmas to you too, mate. And we'll... You all right? You want a drink? How are you feeling? Not good. Do you want a bit of medicine? No? You alright? I'll be into now in a second, mate. The little laddie. Well, that I was only supposed to come on for an hour. Fair play. Got a good 2 hours and 10 minutes out of us. But look, my parting shot from this chat is, yeah, look, some people might look at me and the things I'm talking about and be like, God, he's a bit depressing. But look, I try and balance it with a bit of humor as well. But it's something that, look, you need to know what's going on. And I think it goes past the point of reasonable doubt that you better believe it, lad. I think it goes past the point of reasonable doubt that things have gone to shit. Um, how do you fucking start fixing it? I don't know, man. I don't know. But in the meantime, check out the Hardy book. You get a good laugh out of that. And if you like the channel, and you're new to it and you want to support me, hit me up on PayPal, Maloney's Digest. And I really do appreciate everyone for all the super chats, and hit the like button there. And if you've got any mates who would like this kind of stuff as well, tell them about the channel and get them into the party. I have to say, I've really thoroughly enjoyed talking to you all, and really enjoyed this. And they're long streams, but you know, you don't have to listen to them all in one go. You can listen to them in installments, like, you know. But thanks to everyone, and I will get a Christian Gavigan. You didn't have to, man. You didn't have to, but I do appreciate it. Cheers, Chris, mate. Yeah, and have a mighty pint and get something for the godson. Oh, has to be done, mate. Good on you, Christian. I love you to bits, man. Love all you guys, man. Thanks very much for being so sound. And well, Christian Gavigan might come on for the Christmas chat. Tell Cowboy as well. Maybe we might get Oni and Colgan on. And fucking Tommy Boo. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see who we get on. We'll have maybe Christmas Eve. We'll have a nice little touch. But on that note, everyone, thanks very much. Have a great night, and have a great weekend as well. And spend time with your nearest and dearest, and tell them you love them more often. And give yourself a big hug from me. Good luck, everyone. Tashion.